Hi, my name's Ron Hawley. I'm a content producer. I am a first and second constitutional advocate. In fact, I'm just a constitutional advocate. When I was a young man, probably in my 20s, I had an old guy tell me that you don't even know the rights that you've already lost. And throughout my life, I've seen that. It's just rights are being stepped on, they're ignored. I grew up in a really poor Los Angeles neighborhood. I was probably been searched without any cause and questioned and released more times than I could count. And when I started driving a car, I'd get pulled over at least every 3 months. And they'd take me out of the car, and I'm no violation, no ticket. They just take me out of the car, they'd frisk me and search my car. What do you think? Then they just say, okay, you're okay. Go ahead on. Or one guy even said, hey, look at it. If I find out there's been a house that was robbed around here, I'm going to come after you. Isn't that a pleasant thought? If somebody robs a house, they're going to come looking for you just because you were there to get stopped. I was up in the mountains one time. Sheriff stopped me and he said, hey, look, we've got a lot of empty cabins up here and we don't like guys like you around here. So I'm going to follow you to the county line. And he did. He followed me to the county line. As soon as I crossed the county line, he turned around. Now, I know you've all seen the Rambo movie and the First Blood movie, and that's exactly how they treated people. And there was no defense. There was nothing you could do. We were told that the most you could get if you sued the police department for false arrest was $100. And we believed it. Okay? So I'm tired of having my rights trampled. If I allow your rights to be trampled, it's the same thing. It's my sin. So what I'm going to do is just make some suggestions about what's happening with the pushback against our rights being violated. Number one, we need to treat this like a business. We can't just let them trample our rights and not sue them. We're in the business of suing people for violating our rights. If you're driving down the street and your tag's out, they'll pull you over and give you a ticket. If you have a headlight out, they'll pull you over and give you a ticket. So you think that just because they detained you, that it's not worth suing them. Well, it's got to have to be. It's going to have to be, and not these little tiny lawsuits. Here I won $15,000, and it only took me 2 years, and the lawyer took most of it. That's absolutely insane. Every time you get in a position where you're being questioned by the police, your life's in danger. Don't kid yourself. If they pulled out a gun and shot you dead, every officer there would say, I saw a gun. I saw a gun and I was getting ready to shoot him. And that's exactly how they would do it. There wouldn't be one officer who would say, no, he didn't do anything, they just killed him. We've seen this on the news, where a guy walking down the street and they just shoot him, they kill him because they don't want him alive. They're being trained, the local police are being trained that we're the enemy. And we got to turn that around. And the way we turn that around is not going to be through getting rid of the qualified immunity, because that's never going to happen. It's built in to all laws. It's not a law. It's a legal theory by which they can say, oh, well, we have to give this guy a break here, because he's a policeman. So we have to give him a break. So what happens? He can beat you up and he can walk away without even skipping a beat. One of the hard things that happens to them is they get put on paid administrative leave. Most industries call that a vacation, but in the police department, it's paid administrative leave. I've heard of guys being on paid administrative leave for 2 years. Imagine being able to sit at home, draw a huge check, and not have to do anything. And this is their way of punishing. My gosh, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So I'm going to make suggestions on auditors that are really doing a good job, but I'm going to make suggestions how we can improve the way this movement does things.